I'm Greg Dibler. This is Digital Trends Live, and once again, it is time for Who's Got Game, where we partner with Full Screen and get to talk to incredibly talented people like our next guest. You probably know him from YouTube. He is Sigils, AKA Andrew, who's joining us right now to talk about so many different things that I want to get into. First off, though, thank you for being here with us today.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You know, something I'm always interested to learn about is obviously, you have all this success. We're going to talk about the things that you're doing now and all these different partnerships you have. But going back to the beginning, I'm always want to know, for somebody like you, how is it you got your start in this, and where was that moment where you're like, okay, I can do this as a career?
Man, my first YouTube video started when I think the biggest channel on YouTube had like 3 million subscribers. Like, people weren't making a living doing this. That wasn't even like making money. Like, it was just sort of something people did, like early days of YouTube. And for me, the thing that was exciting is that there wasn't a lot of like red tape. I'd always been afraid of like, I wanted to get into film and stuff like that, but there's so many people you had to convince, producers and writers and all these things. And the fact that you could like have an idea that you thought was funny, make it and post it, and people could watch it immediately was like very exciting to me. So I started doing it for fun. And then as it started to emerge as a career, it was already like something I was in love with. So I just decided to pursue more. And then just kind of like doing it as a side gig for years and years. I'm on my like 8th or 9th year right now. At some point, it sort of just like reached a point where I was like, all right, I think I could take the plunge and go for it. And I think I've been doing it for about full time for about 3 years now.
Wow, that's great. Was there any one particular video that just like put it over the edge?
Not really. For me, like my particular career has been like sort of like a steady, like there have been periods of nothing. Like, you have to work hard through those moments of like no growth. Like what you're doing isn't working. You have to kind of find your routine and your rhythm that people like. And then for me, it's been like just kind of like a steady thing. I haven't had like explosive growth, just every day the same amount, but you keep putting in the work and it starts to add up.
Well, and you've gone from one channel and then you've launched another one, so you gave yourself even more work. But at the same time, like doing that, what made you want to do that? And for a lot of other people out there too, who maybe have a YouTube channel or maybe are trying to get into this, where do you make that decision to be like, okay, I'm going to do this all over again on another channel?
That's a great question. I'm still deciding if I've made the right decisions on that myself. Some of it is like playing into the algorithm of YouTube, right? If you build a channel that is doing well around a certain type of content, introducing something that's completely different can affect how your channel gets recommended against other channels. It can affect your growth and things like that. So I've seen a lot of other creators have success where they have a channel that's popular and then they say, hey, if you guys enjoy like what I do, but you want something a little bit different, I'm going to do an experiment over here. And that's sort of what I'm trying as well. Is I have the one channel that's doing well, it's thriving, but I wanted to try doing different types of content. Yes, it's still games, but it's different types of games. It's different types of content, like and structure inside of it. And so I made a new channel. It's sort of like my playground, right? Because at this point, the main channel is my baby. I focus on it. I have a certain rhythm and thing that I expect to do. And the second channel is sort of where I'm trying new things, that I'm experimenting, maybe trying to find the next wave of content or the next kind of like style that works well. Who knows? Maybe it'll surpass the original channel.
I feel like that's kind of like a comedian going to an open mic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like low risk, high reward kind of. Does this work? Do you guys like this? But if they're wrong, it doesn't affect, like what I'm already doing.
Being on YouTube for this amount of time and obviously the success on there, I want to get your thoughts on TikTok, the rise of TikTok, and just what a force it's become, especially over this last year, but the last couple of years really, and TikTok gaming and all these other platforms bringing gaming in. Like, how do you feel specifically about that one?
TikTok is crazy. I have done a little bit of stuff with TikTok. I've actually just started experimenting with it more, but I have never seen a platform push content so hard. You can just have no followers, and if you upload something that's funny, somehow people find it and it gets watched. And the thing that I've seen with my friends, the group of people that I do stuff with on YouTube, we've all started posting some gaming TikToks, and what we've seen is, more than anything else, TikTok seems to be this place where people are really hungry to learn about content. So, you can post a 30-second gaming clip or something like that, and if people are engaged by it, they'll come check out your YouTube channel. Like, people who use TikTok don't just use TikTok. It's their like short form appetizer type content. But if they see something where like, oh wow, I think that might be engaging, in a longer form, they convert much better than other platforms. You know, like if you have a lot of followers on Instagram and you say, come follow me on Twitter, they're like, no, I don't really want to do that. But on TikTok, if you say, hey, if you like what you see, come on over to my YouTube channel, more than any other platform, we're seeing that they're really excited to do so.
Wow. That's kind of interesting. I wonder what it is just about that platform that makes that so much easier. But I mean, I guess that's great. If it
it's crazy.
Yeah. Going from there, talking about TikTok, let's talk about some of the other things you do. And I wanted to bring this up too because you're on Players Network, and this is an interesting concept of combining so many different people. Can you give everybody who doesn't know just a quick description of what all this is that you're doing?
Sure. Okay. So Players Network is a show. It's a live stream show. They're also working on doing some like video content and stuff essentially, but it's still newer. But basically, it combines people from different career paths into playing games together. So we've got athletes from the NBA and the NFL and more. We've got musicians and DJs, and we've got streamers and gamers and people like that. And basically, we all come together and play games together. And a big part of the premise is that everybody loves games, right? Like even people you wouldn't think, like Jarvis Landry and I will play Call of Duty together, and that's weird, right? Because we come from he's the super famous like NFL player, and I'm a guy who yells at a screen for a living. But we can come together in this common interest and play together, and it's a ton of fun. He's a hilarious guy, by the way. But that's sort of the concept, and they rotate us through, so we're always playing with like different members of the group. There's about 16 or 17 of us, and it's been a fascinating and hilarious time.
That's Jarvis Landry. That'd be just hilarious. Yeah, seeing him do this. But I mean, when you look at that, like combining all of these different people, I guess, and you've been in this for so long, I'm curious if there's somebody that you specifically would like to game with that's outside of the gaming realm, like somebody like a Jarvis Landry. Is there anybody out there that you would really like to play with?
I think it'd be fun to play with Keanu Reeves. Just like in general, you know, like
what game?
Neo himself. You know. I think it'd be funny. Do you remember that old Matrix game they made for like the GameCube? He's not even like in it at all, but I think it'd be really funny to play the Matrix game with Neo. But I don't know, you know, even just Call of Duty or something like that. A lot of people, you know, they don't get into the fringe gaming. Like Call of Duty is a very common game. It's fun to play games that people are comfortable with, so they don't spend the whole time trying to figure it out. But gaming sort of opens up a way to talk to people differently because you're both engaging in a similar activity. It's like getting a coffee almost, you know? We both like this, we're doing it, so hey, how's your day? You know? I mean, it's the new golf. I don't know.
Right. I love that idea of playing a movie game with somebody who was in the movie just to get their reaction from it.
Yeah, no, I was at the E3 thing where they brought Keanu out to reveal that he was going to be in the Cyberpunk game. And that was so cool, like just the genuine enthusiasm he had for it and the crowd. I think that kind of stuff is neat, seeing like different worlds collide in gaming.
Something that's in the news right now, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I just wanted to see if you had any opinions on it. Obviously with Mixer now combining into Facebook gaming and just kind of saying that's it, we're going this route. Do you have any initial thoughts on that move from Mixer?
Yesterday was wild. Yeah, you know, you wake up in a social media platform's like, we're done. See you guys. You know, I think in some ways it might make a lot of sense. I actually did some work with Facebook gaming at one point. I'm a Twitch partner now, but I actually know a lot of the people on the Facebook gaming team, and I think they're exceptional people who are really committed towards building a good gaming platform. And so I think, you know, if Microsoft wasn't happy with like how Mixer was performing and what they're doing, that there's a lot of good room for those two to work together, and I think that they could cook up some really good stuff. So I'm curious. I think competition's a good thing, and seeing two juggernaut companies combine to work on a product together is really interesting. I want to see more, but I'm intrigued. I feel for the Mixer partners. I know that's got to be really rough news to wake up to. But hopefully, I know Facebook's doing everything they can to make them land on their feet. So hopefully everybody ends up okay.
Great. Well, Sigils, for you, what's next on the horizon? What do you have in the pipeline? What can people expect from you? Anything that you want to promote in particular?
Man, well, as you mentioned, I did just start a new channel. So I have a main channel. We do like a lot of like Fortnite and Minecraft kind of stuff. But I've started a second channel now, which is focused on Call of Duty Warzone and things like that, stuff taken from my stream. So I'm really really focusing like on my stream and building up that second channel. So that one's called Sigils TV. you guys can check it out on YouTube, or you can check me on Twitch, where I'm streaming a lot of Warzone and working on like filming videos live. Which, if you're ever curious about like the behind the scenes of how that looks, that might be a good way to check it out.
Nice. Well, hey, I want to say thank you so much for joining us here today, too, just to talk about this. This is a great conversation. Really interesting getting your thoughts on all of it. And congratulations on all your success with all of this.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you very much. Love being on the show.
Yeah.